I'm about to show you a set of coincidences for you to ponder, but for my safety and your safety, please do not come to any conclusions. Deal? Cool. This is Tyler James Robinson, the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk, who a lot of us now know by name. But according to Google Trends, somebody, maybe multiple, in the DC metro area was searching for Tyler James Robinson one day before the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Okay, you see this big spike over here. That's on September 12th. That's when we all found out through the news who he was and started Googling his name. But this small spike on September 9th, that's kind of weird, don't you think? Now, what about the Losee Center, the building where Tyler Robinson allegedly shot Charlie Kirk from? Well, again, for some reason, a small number of people in the Washington, D.C. area was Googling Losee Center 2 days prior to Charlie Kirk's assassination, September 8th, 2025. What is that all about? Once again, this is when we all heard about it, and some group of people over here 2 days prior was, just having fun Googling Losee Center. Now, what about a Mauser 98? You've heard of that? Well, evidently there was pretty much no interest in the Mauser 98 until August 27th, when somebody, once again, in DC was like, I am curious about the Mauser 98. Once again, to reiterate, these are all just coincidences. And since this information has gone viral, people are now reporting that all of that data has now been scrubbed. And so this is what it looks like now. Nothing to see here.
This story doesn't start with a bullet. It starts with a browser. Because days before the shooting, someone was searching for Tyler Robinson. Not after the headlines, not after the arrest. Before. Before the rifle was found. Before the rooftop was accessed. Before any of us even knew his name. Someone somewhere typed it into Google. Tyler Robinson. And they didn't stop there. Multiple searches, multiple locations, specific keywords tied to campus buildings and ballistics. So ask yourself, how did they know? Who were they? And what were they hoping to find? When a name appears in a search bar days before it appears in a crime report, is that coincidence? Or is it something else? We're going to follow that search history. Every IP, every timestamp, every question no one else is asking. Because if this story doesn't begin with the gunshot, then when does it really begin? Before we do into details, please tell us where you are watching from in the comment and what your opinion about this whole Tyler Robinson case. Every investigation leaves behind two stories, the one we're told, and the one buried in the details. From the beginning, the narrative around Tyler Robinson was airtight. A lone shooter, a single act of political violence, case closed. But the deeper you look, the more the facts begin to fray. Days before the shooting, something strange started happening online. Search data shows spikes for the name Tyler Robinson, searches for Losee Center UVU, for rooftop access maps, for basic ballistic calculations. And those searches weren't coming from Utah. Some were traced to out-of-state IP addresses, hours, even days before Charlie Kirk ever arrived on campus. The data isn't officially verified, but the patterns are there, in Google Trends archives and independent logs collected by digital investigators. People were searching for Tyler Robinson before anyone knew who he was. How? Why? Who would have known that name before it meant anything to the world? The timeline raises even more questions. Campus security footage shows a man believed to be Robinson arriving around 8:29 a.m., a gray Dodge Challenger. He walks into the Losee Center, leaves, and returns just before noon. By 12:23, a shot rings out from the rooftop. But watch the footage closely. There's a gap. At times, the suspect appears unarmed. No rifle, no obvious bag. Then minutes later, he's in position, firing a scoped weapon. So how did the rifle get up there? Where did it come from? Who else had access to that roof? Investigators later found footprints, impressions in the dust, consistent with someone lying prone, a sniper's setup. But the rifle they recovered in the woods was fully assembled. There wasn't enough time to carry it down, hide it, and disappear without being seen. So did the shooter have help? Or was someone waiting below? The inconsistencies don't stop there. The full search logs, Google, phone data, browser history, remain sealed. Authorities have not released them, citing ongoing investigation. And yet, those very records could confirm or disprove whether Tyler Robinson's name was being circulated online before the shooting. Why withhold that? Why not clarify the timeline? The CCTV network across UVU's campus covers nearly every corner: entrances, hallways, rooftops, stairwells, but only small fragments have been shown to the public. Redacted affidavits mention evidence: the rifle, the towel, even a screwdriver, but entire pages are blacked out, pieces of a puzzle hidden from the very people most affected by it. Authorities admit no clear motive has been established, despite engraved bullets, despite the note left behind, despite the nation's outrage. So what's missing? Maybe the most important clue isn't on the rooftop or in the woods, but in the search bar. If someone was looking up Tyler Robinson days before the attack, what exactly were they searching for? Were they tracking him, setting him up, or preparing him for something he didn't see coming? Look at the timestamps. Look at the sequence. Someone typed his name before the headlines ever broke. So the question is no longer just who pulled the trigger, it's who knew it was coming, and why they were searching for him before anyone else. What if Tyler Robinson wasn't acting alone? The suspicious spikes in search activity paint a very different picture. In the days before the shooting, searches for Tyler Robinson, Losee Center roof access, and UVU sniper vantage point appeared from unexpected places, far beyond Utah's borders. For example, data suggests spikes coming from the Washington, D.C. area, home to government agencies, think tanks, and political operatives. Was this mere coincidence? Or insider knowledge? Were these search logs preserved, subpoenaed? If so, who exactly was looking? What IP addresses? What geolocations? Could these searches point to a network of participants rather than a lone shooter? A scenario where Tyler Robinson was either the trigger man or perhaps a scapegoat. Look at the strange engravings on the bullet casings. Phrases like Bella Ciao, Hey Fascist, Catch, and cryptic internet meme references. They hint at online subcultures, groups that thrive on chaos and misinformation. Were these messages meant for someone else? Were they signatures of a larger operation? Consider this. What if those early searches for Tyler Robinson were not innocent? What if they were a deliberate setup, designed to seed his name in search histories, browser caches, digital breadcrumbs that would later point investigators toward him? If that's true, who is hiding behind the screen? Who's pulling the strings, remaining unseen, while Robinson takes the fall? Further complicating the picture are claims about Robinson's own online activity. Reports mention searches for obscure games, adult content, and topics related to gender identity. Are these distractions, red herrings planted to paint a confusing portrait? Or genuine glimpses into a troubled mind, unrelated to any political motive? Pause for a moment. If you were investigating this case, what would you want to see in Tyler Robinson's browser history? How far back would you look? How many people typed his name before that fatal shot at 12:23 p.m.? Would you search for roof drone UVU building, or Mauser rifle drop point, or Losee Center rooftop sniper? Every search term is a breadcrumb. Every query a possible clue. The official story says one shooter. Motive unclear, but the digital trail tells a more complicated story. More players. More preparation, more eyes watching. The question is, are we seeing the full truth? Or just the version that's easiest to sell? On September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, was speaking at an outdoor event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. The crowd was mixed. Students, press, supporters, protesters. It was just past noon. At 12:23 p.m., a single rifle shot rang out. Charlie Kirk was struck in the neck. He collapsed at the podium. He later died at the hospital. Within hours, police and federal agents swarmed the area. Surveillance footage from a nearby rooftop showed a figure moving into a prone sniper position, then fleeing. The suspect was identified quickly: 22-year-old Tyler James Robinson from Washington County, Utah. A bolt-action .30 Arrow 6 Mauser rifle was found wrapped in a towel, less than 300 yards from the rooftop. It had a scope. It matched the ballistic evidence. Nearby, investigators recovered 3 spent casings, each engraved with disturbing messages. One read, "Hey Fascist, catch." Another, "Oh Bella Ciao." Under a dorm room keyboard, they found a handwritten note. "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." Within 33 hours, a manhunt led authorities deep into the south end of Utah County. Robinson's father, along with a retired sheriff's deputy, convinced him to surrender without violence. He was charged with aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and committing a violent offense in the presence of a child. The reaction was immediate and nationwide. Cable news, social media, political leaders, debates flared over free speech, political violence, and campus security. Imagine you're a student at Utah Valley University that day. You came to listen, to learn, to witness a moment. Instead, you hear a sudden raw shot. Chaos erupts. A life snuffed out. Now imagine this. Later, you find out someone, maybe a stranger, maybe someone closer, typed your name into a Google search bar days before you ever set foot on campus that morning. What do you feel? Fear?
Do not forget
Betrayal?
to share this video.
What about the
with
family
all
of Charlie Kirk?
Supporter
They
of
want
Candace
answers.
and other truth seekers.
They deserve the
As
truth.
Candace Owens
And what
continued
about the
to press
family of
for
Tyler
answers,
Robinson?
the
Conflicted,
backlash grew
torn between
beyond
guilt, confusion,
mere
and
criticism.
disbelief.
It
What about the
turned
students whose
threatening
browser
and
histories,
chillingly
webcam
personal.
logs,
According to
roof
multiple
access records,
reports,
all
she began
quietly tucked
receiving
away in
a wave
evidence
of
rooms,
disturbing
might hold
messages,
pieces of this
death
puzzle?
threats,
What are we to
hate-filled
make of that?
warnings, and
If
relentless
violence is planned in
harassment.
secret,
These
in
weren't
shadows,
just angry
what are our
comments or
responsibilities
harsh
as
debates.
bystanders?
They were
As
targeted
citizens?
attacks
If search logs were
designed
accessed
to
without warrants?
intimidate, to silence.
If key digital
The
evidence
threats
remains sealed from
escalated
public
quickly
view?
within days
Who
of her
holds the
public
accountability?
statements.
Is it fair or even
Private
accurate
inboxes
to blame just
flooded
one
with
individual
messages
when so many
violent and
layers of inquiry
disturbing
feel
that they
incomplete?
prompted concern from
Picture for a
friends,
moment the mother of
colleagues,
Tyler
and
Robinson,
legal experts alike.
scrolling through her
Candace
son's browser
herself
history,
addressed the
confronted by
situation
questions,
publicly,
half-understood symbols,
out about the
inscriptions on
emotional
bullets that
toll
read like cryptic jokes from an internet subculture. She wonders, was this all his doing? Or was he the one who typed it first? As part of something much larger? Something he never fully controlled?
5 minutes after the shot
Silence
rang
in the
out,
face of
a man
unanswered
steps forward,
questions. Is that
climbs
not
onto the very
complicity?
chair Charlie Kirk had just
When
been
we
sitting
accept
in,
the official story without
and
digging
reaches for the
deeper,
camera mounted
are we not
behind him.
abdicating
Not
our
a word from law
responsibility to seek
enforcement.
truth?
No warning, no
To demand
documented
justice?
chain of custody.
To hold those
Just
in
a
power
hand,
accountable?
pulling the SD
This
card
story
and
is not
slipping
just
it
about a
away.
name in a
And
search
just
bar.
like that,
It's about
a
us,
key piece of evidence
our
vanished
society,
into someone's
our
pocket.
collective conscience.
Outside the
At this
reach
moment,
of
the public is
record.
owed more than a press
Outside
conference.
the reach of truth.
We demand the release of
Where did that card
search
go?
history logs showing
Who touched
exactly
it?
who typed
And
Tyler
why has what
Robinson
it captured never
and
been
when.
seen by the public?
The full
Tonight,
surveillance
we
footage from
investigate the
UVU,
missing memory.
before, during,
The
and
security
after the
breach
event,
no one can explain.
including all rooftop
And the
entry and
footage that
exit
could
points,
shatter the narrative we've
the
been
complete
told.
chain of custody
Because
for the
when a camera
rifle,
sees
the
everything,
towel, the
but its footage
screwdriver,
disappears,
every piece of physical
someone made
evidence,
that decision.
and the full
If you're
forensic
watching this,
timeline.
I need to
Interviews
know,
with
where
those who
are you?
accessed or
Drop your
searched Tyler's
location
name
in the
ahead of time,
comments.
including
And tell me
IP
your first
logs,
reaction,
geolocation
because
data,
no
and
citizen should ever be
timestamps.
powerless when
If
evidence
this case is
vanishes.
truly as
What is on
simple
that
as one
SD
disturbed
card?
individual,
And who's keeping
these
it hidden?
documents will prove
Here's
it.
where the story fractures.
If not, then
We're
the
told
public
SD
deserves
card
to know
was
the whole
recovered
story.
and eventually turned over to
Institutions, campus authorities, law enforcement agencies, and tech platforms must be held accountable. Who flagged those early searches? Was any alert raised? If someone typed the name days before the shooting, was campus security even aware? This isn't about politics. This is about the public's right to know. About a university campus transformed in an instant from a place of learning to a crime scene. About a name flickering across search bars days before it became a headline. We must pursue truth. Because silence in the face of broken trails, hidden logs, and closed doors is not neutrality. It is complicity, and we choose better. Now I want to turn to you. What do you think? Who searched Tyler Robinson's name before the shooting, and what did they find? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. What search terms would you look for? What timeline feels off to you? Hit subscribe because we'll be following every update, court filings, search history revelations, campus logs, as they come to light. Be part of the movement toward truth and justice. Share this video if you believe no suspicious search should be left unexplored. Because when silence takes over, the questions fade and injustice deepens. Until we meet again, keep questioning, keep digging, keep demanding transparency. Because justice isn't just about a verdict. It's about uncovering the full landscape of truth. Thank you for watching.